Welcome, 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 welcome to Spark AI Driven Student Creation. We have our resident AI guru, Michele, back with us. She is already a part of the EA family. If you're like, man, I really love her presentation style, I love what she says, then you want to go look at her former EA webinars that she has done for us. So definitely go check those out. I am excited. So you may say, well, who are you, woman? Well, I am Dr. Desiree Alexander. I am the founder CEO of Educator Alexander Consulting. I also work for a nonprofit in the state of Louisiana, and these are all of the ways that you can contact me. So yay, as long as you can get to my website, educatoralexander.com, you can get to me. And like I tell everyone, if you are watching us on the YouTube channel, no, you do not get a certificate of attendance, but you do get the knowledge. And right underneath the video in the description, you will see the link to this amazing presentation. So go and grab that link. And if you're watching us live, yay, thank you for being here. And of course, you can get a certificate if you fill out the evaluation at the end of the session. All right, what do we have coming up next? Now, y'all, I'm going to keep it here just for a second because we have such amazing EA webinars coming up. I just haven't done the flyer for them just yet. I just got some information yesterday from one of the presenters. We have like Sarah Thomas, if you know EduMatch. We have Victoria Thompson. Like we have some just amazing presenters. Some of them are, well, most of them are already part of the EA family. We have some amazing presentations coming up. I cannot wait to announce them all. It's going to start in August. So just get your calendars ready. We have some awesome presentations coming up, and I'm going to give you a chance to either present or tell me what you want to learn about in a second. So let's get back to this. Coming up next week, creative coding and storytelling. It's a whole like week of PD, but I'm just doing one session, and I'm going to be on a panel about I don't know, something. You'll see it. Go to the website. I'm on the panel. You can register at edalex.net/events. But we'll be talking on that panel. It's going to be awesome. And then I will be at the virtual DLCI, one of my favorite events every single year with SciFair. I just love, 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 love this event, whether it's in person or whether it's virtual. So I'll be there again on July 22nd. And this is all virtual, all completely free. You don't even have to register. You just show up. Go to the website at that time, click on the links, and y'all, they have such amazing presenters. So you don't want to miss this virtual, completely free PD. But I'll be on July 22nd talking about fast hacks and translation tools. So I will see you there. And then we always have our self-paced courses, our test preps, and support times and all that good stuff. If you're getting your educational leadership certification and your state takes the SLLA 6990 exam, I can help you out there. So all the good things. And then here's your opportunity. If you want to present a webinar, if you want to just tell me, hey, you know what? I really want to see a webinar on this topic. I usually go out and find a presenter. So let me know. Go to edalex.net/events. Let me know what you want to see and let me know what you want to present. Even if you are a brand new presenter, I've had literally first time presenters on here, and I've had international presenters who present all the time. So let us know. We are here to share knowledge. That is what we like to do. Yeah, it is time to get started. So I will shut my face and let our presenter get all set up and ready to go, talking about sparking AI creation for students.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here to talk about how to spark AI-driven student creation. And one of the focuses throughout here is just like authentic student projects, right? Because we just want to amplify student voice, choice, build student agency. And I'm just going to go through, the research, and some fun ways you can work with your students in classrooms. So just some outcomes of, what we're going to be doing over the hour, and hopefully you'll leave feeling good about is just we're going to be identifying some student-centered AI tools that support creativity, reflection, and authentic student learning. We are looking at Canva and Gemini today and how we can really use them to elevate student voice and project-based learning, design or adapt an assignment that integrates AI tools for student creation, and reflect on how AI can support deeper learning, collaboration, and real world skill development, right? Because it's not about the tool, it's how we use the tools, it's how we amplify our human impact and our abilities to do good. So, some research, and this is on project-based learning, but students in PBL-based AP courses are more likely to score 3 or higher on AP exams. PBL involves student voice and choice, which fosters agency and decision-making capability in students. And then I just put some more research here, like a third grade science PBL program led students to outperforming their peers on assessments by 8%. And then principals that were surveyed have said that they believe that students, like they have seen students excel with learning academic standards, and they have a stronger understanding of core content. So the research is powerful on PBL. I mean, I even want to say I don't have this here, but there is evidence that um, teachers enjoy their work and they feel passionate about their work. And then you combine that with like how amazing AI can be when used the right way. And I think you just have a really powerful combination. So PBL is a teaching method in which students gain knowledge and skills by working for an extended period of time to investigate and respond to an authentic, engaging, and complex question, problem, or challenge. So I would always just encourage you, create a problem or have students investigate something that is relevant to them, something that's happening in the real world, that really allows them to explore, investigate, and create. And then I always just like to distinguish the difference between doing a project, which is, a lot of times it's just at the end of the unit, it serves as a final task, and then project-based learning where, we are immersed in doing projects throughout an extended or over an extended period of time, depending on the topic. And then I really like this graphic from the Buck Institute of Education, just saying like the essential design elements that projects should have to really support student learning, student inquiry, student investigation, and allow them after they create all these amazing things to, share it as a public product, right? They want to be proud of their work, show it off, and be put in authentic situations where they can share, receive feedback, and learn. I also want to just reiterate, I know we all have seen Bloom's taxonomy and creation is at the top. So even if, you aren't doing full immerse PBL, like creation, student creation, having students create, design, assemble, construct is at the highest level of Bloom's taxonomy. And there is so much power and research in creating opportunities in classrooms to, build student understanding and promoting creativity. So I do want to introduce Gemini. I also want to say I am using Gemini here. I am a Google certified trainer. So I do think it has so much to offer, but there are other great tools that do, the same thing. So there's Magic School, School AI. So if you aren't using Gemini or you're looking at other platforms that accomplish this. There's a lot of great tools out there for schools to choose from that you may be using at your school right now. So I just want to say that there are other alternatives to this that you and your school can use and look into. So But Gemini is Google's family of advanced artificial intelligence models designed to process and generate content across multiple types of data. So generates text, images, audio, video, does code. Are any of you using Gemini in the chat? Or you could just say, yes, me. If not your quiet Saturday of your drinks and your snacks, that's okay. I'm going to tell you about it. Yes. So I'm just putting it, yes, I love it. So I put a video by Google in here. I'm not going to play it. Okay, Sarah, great. We're going to just go over some basics too, so you feel comfortable. Before I get into showing you Gemini, and if you've used ChatGPT, um, you can get right into Gemini and feel comfortable, chatting back and forth. But before I get into showing you the actual app, there's been a ton of news on Gemini in the education space that was released at ISTE. So I, of course, want to show you this. So if you have the presentation, you can click these, and I always think it's great to learn and explore on your own if you want. I know I love to do that. I love to follow people on social media to get good ideas. Okay. Yeah, so you could use Magic School for this section too. If you're doing that, you could try Gemini. But all their news is here. So if you go to like learning and education, but there's a lot of great information, especially if you want to dig into Gemini and learn more about it if you're new to it. But at ISTE, Google had released made a ton of announcements and made a ton of updates to Gemini and what they're offering in terms of Google for Education. And those updates are really exciting. I have used Google for a very long time in the education space. So that was really exciting. So I would definitely encourage you like to read about the ISTE announcements like Gemini and Classroom. I'm going to touch on it a little bit because I had to. And it was a perfect time to do it because that is the whole topic of this presentation. But one of the first things is Gemini in Classroom. So what Google did is they created 30 plus tools in Google Classroom where you can brainstorm real world examples, right? Brainstorm project ideas, DOK questioning. And this example right here that I have in this presentation is, you can go in and brainstorm real world examples right here. So if your school has a Google for Education account, you will have access to all of this power. And you can even see right here, like they have, um, you can see some of the tools right here. You can generate a presentation, you can gamify an activity, you can, generate and brainstorm some strategies to differentiate learning with students, DOK questions, brainstorm projects ideas, and this is about projects, student creation. You could get some real world examples and really work with AI as a teammate to get some ideas, build out resources during the planning process that you can use with your students. And then Google has announced, have any of you used Notebook LM at all? It is one of my favorites, but you can share Notebook LMs with students in Google for Education if your district turns it on. Yes, they could do research. Yes, they could explore information that you provide them. And one of the things I do really like about Notebook LM is you, as the educator, are putting the resources in the notebook, right? And you have a lot of control over like what is going to be in there in terms of having it as a resource for students. I even love it to support staff, to support your PLC with just information. It's a great resource, even if you aren't using it directly with students. And then there's GEMS. So Google has announced that you will be able to share gems with students, and students can use them as a brainstorming partner, a coach, a way to study, make real world connections, brainstorm. I mean, there are so many possibilities. And if you use ChatGPT, but gems are basically customized gems that do specific tasks. So maybe you have a lesson plan gem that customizes your lesson plans, or maybe you have a project-based learning gem, and you have put all your research, so like all the research in there, your school's evaluation rubric, and anything else to customize it. And then you can go in there and it can brainstorm project ideas with you. So even if your students aren't using gems, like they are so powerful for you to use as an educator. And if you haven't tried one, I would definitely encourage you to check it out. So why Gemini? So the whole like point of this presentation is, how can this benefit students? And even if you're using something like Magic School or School AI or some other options that are great that are out there, like this is helpful for students because it allows them to have a partner where they can be creative, generate ideas, like brainstorm. I mean, I know that I love using AI for that. It can be a research assistant. Students can ask it questions, it can provide them with research, and then they can be empowered to look to make sure that that research is credible and accurate. It can be an academic coach. It's so powerful when it comes to accessibility and differentiated support and real-time feedback. So now I want to do some demonstrations in Gemini. And this is just for you. I put some of these things in the presentation because you have this as a resource. And I know if you're like me, I go to presentations and I'm like, oh, I wish I could watch that again. So I do like to provide videos and GIFs, so you can check them out after. So if you go to, and you can follow along with me if you want, but if you go to gemini.google.app, it's going to take you to Gemini. And then you're going to see all of these options here. A great thing that has really impressed me about Gemini is the fact that you can go into Gemini and you can make a gem or use deep research, and it's free. And to make GBTs with chat GBTs, you have to have an upgraded account. So I think the accessibility piece for, just educators or anyone who wants to go in and try these powerful tools to support teaching and learning is an amazing thing. So I have a prompt, and the reason why I'm doing this is because, a student can go into Gemini or they could go into Magic School or School AI and they could start researching for a project, right? So I have a prompt already made here, and I'm making a fun, informative podcast for my 11th grade US history class about the coolest and most impactful technology inventions of the 1950s. So you could assume that like the student wrote this out. List 3 to 5 major inventions or technological advancements. And then I wrote some more information that it could include. And then like, give me a closing thought or did you know fact at the end. And then you can send it. So now Gemini is going to give me some of this research, give me what I asked for, and it's going to number them all, which is really great. The microwave oven, commercial airlines. Okay, and then I could even say, well, where did you find this information because we want to make sure it's credible, right? We want the student to do that in the research process of, doing this project. Um, and then what's even neater is like, let's say, this doesn't give you a lot of information. You can go here, start a new chat and hit deep research if this is turned on and re-enter the prompt. And then deep research is going to get to work right away. And I already pulled the report before I came in here, so we didn't have to wait on it. I mean, it is really neat how you see Gemini pull the report. One of the things that I really love about it is how it shows its thinking as it's pulling the information. It's very transparent in where it's pulling from. So you could go, like students can go through, they could check to see if these are credible, or even if you are providing students with research for a project and you're doing this, you can go through, you can search these web links. You can make a determination if that's something that you want students to be able to use and look at when they're doing their research. And what's great is you don't have to search Google and find all of these sites. You can go here, you can click on these. Like I'm seeing, this looks like Khan Academy, PBS, and then like you can pull this up and you can review it. There's PBS and you can navigate here. You can review the information, but there's so many great sources here and Gemini is generating its thinking. And then what I love about it is it gives you this 1950s like overview. It's like flashback. Um, and it has a really fun name. And then it will give you like a high level overview of like what was happening during this time period that I asked for. And then you can even hit these and pull them down and see like the references, how it listed out, like what home life was like. And then what I really love is you have the whole power of G Suite still. So you can come up here as a teacher and you're like, I really want to save this. You can export it to a doc. Oh, that's so cool, Lisa. I love like old vintage um things. Like I have a very old typewriter, like I collect them. I have like old cameras. I just think they're so cool. Um Old books. And then what's really neat too is you can turn this into an audio overview and it's going to generate. You can turn this into a quiz, an infographic, a web page. And I really like the audio overview, right? Because like think about students like learning in different ways and an audio overview would be like could be so helpful for them. Or different ways to look and take in the information. So this deep research is powerful. And students can continue to iterate with Gemini back and forth to, make sure the information's credible, look for um, great things they want to use in their projects. Does anyone have any questions? Or do you want to see gems at all? Like I can show you quick how to do a gem if you're interested. If not, I can keep going. What are we feeling? I'll just show you real quick. So if you want a gem, you can go here. You can, yes, you can add a new gem. And what's really great is you could give it a name. So maybe I want this to be like based, my project based learning research assistant. And then you can give it instructions. So maybe I want to tell it that, I want it to provide me with ideas and research when I ask it questions, when I'm building out my lessons. And then what's really great about this is you can add files. So you can upload files, you can add them from a Drive folder, and I believe you can upload up to 10. So if you can't get them all, um, you can fill, if you really want to get as much information as possible, you could fill the PDFs. So then I'm like, well, I have all this research on project-based learning that I want to upload. And then you can upload it to further customize its responses. Like you could put the 7 design principles in here. So every time it's generating you ideas and research and it's giving you, ideas for your projects based on topics, it will actually generate a layout of, making sure there's a public product. It has a question, right, to solve. So you can set it up that way, and there's a lot you can do with it, and then you can save it. So you could, of course, make a gem for you to streamline your workflow and support student learning. Um, because I know it's great to be able to go in, have something customized for you, your teaching style, your projects, and how you're evaluated at your organization. You can put it all in here and then work with this and come back to it time and time again to help you, build projects, project outlines, project ideas for students. And then if you are a school that does allow for these things, there is now the potential where you can share them with students for various purposes. I would definitely encourage you, if you haven't done it, to try it. And also, if you have any questions, I'm very active on LinkedIn. I've been busy this week, so I haven't posted, but you can always message me if you have questions or send me an email, and I'm happy to help. So those are gems. And then what I really love is like, it's so great that you are all here. Thank you for being here with me on a Saturday, but I think it's always nice to have additional trainings if you want to learn more. And if you click the picture in the presentation, it's going to take you to all of these trainings, toolkits, and guides for educators. Oh, thanks, John. You must follow me already. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you. And then, they have all of these things, and some of you may have seen these. These trainings went viral on LinkedIn, but not only did they go viral, but they serve such an important educational purpose. Like, I love that if you're learning about this or you want to do more, or I go through some of the stuff with Canva, and I have Canva trainings too, and you're like, I want to do this. I want to use this more. I want to leverage this. You can go in here and, watch these, grab these guides, these resources, so you can, take a deeper dive and learn more on your own time. And I like that, you can come in here at any time and learn, like, what fits within your schedule, right? Because we're all very busy. So I would definitely encourage you to, check those out. So now I think it's important to give you a few minutes because we're going to be transitioning, right? So, um, yes, I can grab the presentation for you. So what we just did is we basically went through how you can use Gemini and its various features, and students can research. They can use it for learning. They can use it as a coach. They can use it to explore and really get all the information and ideas they need so they can start to create and build projects with Canva. So that's kind of where we are, but I just want you to take 2 to 3 minutes. And if you click the presentation, and oh, oop, let me get you the link too. Here you go. I just want you to take like 3 minutes right now and find something in the presentation you want to try. Like, go to Gemini, um, and try a deep research prompt. Ask it questions. Try to export it to a doc. And you can see our
Okay,
podcast is
let's get into
ready.
this. Think about today. Wi-Fi everywhere. Yeah. Smart.
which is really cool. So I'm going to come back in 2 or 3 minutes, and I just want you to play around with something. Check out the trainings, check out what's new with Gemini, and then we'll come back. Hey, John. I have a project-based learning notebook, LM. So if I have a little time at the end, I can walk you through that. I have the podcast feature set up. And I'm even happy to share it with you all so you can check it out. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Okay, one more minute. Okay, if you're still playing with something, I love that. Keep doing that. I can show you a little bit about Notebook LM. And I have this notebook, and I should still be able to get through all the fun project ideas I have like slated for you all. So, but I'm here for you. So if this is something you're wanting to learn, I'm here for it. But you can go to notebooklm.google.com and you can see a lot of my notebooks. You can select a new notebook. And then again, what's great is like you are the human, right? You are the decision maker. And what I love about Notebook LM and even with customizing gem is like you are customizing gems is you are the one that is putting the information in, right? So you can check its credibility. You can make sure, this is what I want my students to be able to search, to learn about. So what's really great is you can upload sources. And I have pro, so I have a huge limit here, but it's not about quantity, it's about quality. So I would always keep that in mind. But you can pull in docs from your school or your organization or anything that you have saved that you love that would be relevant to your notebook. You can add web links and YouTube videos and then copy text. And then you can upload them. And then I have, and I'll share this with you. I was actually going to share it on social media anyway. I just been so busy. I haven't had a chance. Um, Here's the link, and let me make sure I can share it because I might have it restricted right now. I do. So just refresh. You should be able to share it, but you can see that I have all of this PBL research. So I either added a YouTube video. You can see that I have research in here, best practices for project-based learning design, websites. Like this is a website, another website. And this is all like PBL works. Like these are high quality, credible references. Corwin, John Hattie, of course. Ooh, we need all of those research-based strategies and ideas. And then what's really great is you can ask it questions. Um, and you could do this while you're going along with me, but just say, what is project-based learning? And then your students can ask, like, say you have a Unit 2 notebook on a content area, and they can come in and they can ask it questions. And you can make these as specific as you want, but you can create audio overviews right here. So once all your references are in, you can um, create a podcast, and this will load. And then once you have all information you want, you can generate study guides, a briefing document, an FAQ, a timeline, which is really exciting. You can add a mind map, and I'll generate this right here for you all. Um, I can play the podcast
Okay,
now.
imagine walking into a classroom, but instead of, quiet rows of desks, teacher up front lecturing. You see students actually huddled together. There's this low buzz of conversation. They're like leaning.
So now, right, I'm working out my treadmill. I want to listen to my Notebook LM overview. And then it will do like create this mind map for you of all of these great things. And yes, I love, yes, real impact, yes. And then it will, Notebook LM is going to generate all of its ideas on this and tell you about it. So there's lots of different ways you can explore the notebook for you and your teaching and your content area. And there's lots of ways that, students could use this as well, um, you know, in their settings, when taught how to use the technology, appropriately. Um, and you can explore some of these. You have access to this. Feel free to use it. Check out all of this and some of the sources and kind of use it as an example to set up your own. If you have questions, DM me. I'm happy to answer those. Yay, I love the little like off-roading tour of Notebook LM for this. Um, so now Canva content creation. And just like I said, you can use Magic School or School AI for student research and those kinds of things. Canva is one option, but Adobe is amazing too. So, a lot of schools use Adobe. You can use Adobe for some of these ideas as well. Um, and Canva has done a lot and has a lot to offer with some of their new releases as well. So one of the Canva's commitments is, educators can sign up for Canva for free, Canva for Education by clicking here. So this is in the presentation. All you have to do is get verified and give them some of your information to prove that you're a teacher and you're at a school, right? And then you'll have the power to unlock so many of these features and you won't have to pay for them. You can also, have it, your school can have Canva as an account and use it with students. And I always say, before doing any of these things in your school or organization, run it by your admin, your department head, make sure like what you're doing is okay. Every school is different. But Canva recently did announce that they are allowing that users under 13 be able to use their AI-powered products. And then you can read their terms of service right here, which is important. Um, because of course this should be supervised and all of that. But I like to put links here so you can read about it and be knowledgeable. Student safety is so important. But why Canva? Well, so we have students researching, learning, like, taking ownership over their learning, exploring these topics, ideas for their challenging, question that you gave them or problem to solve. And now Canva is really the vehicle where you can make make student thinking visible. It fosters creativity and ownership. They can collaborate on these documents and they can share them as a public product, right? They can use their voice. You can give them choices. And this is like a form of true, authentic assessment, right? Where they're building it out, like they're becoming the creators, they're bringing their own ideas to life. So the first thing I have are flip books. This is an AI generated flip book I made on social media as an example of how like you can make a flip book in Canva. But if you go to the new design dashboard in Canva and search children's books, you have all these amazing options to choose from that students can build out. So I can like duplicate this page. You know, I I can change the text here. I can add text boxes. And then what I really like is like it gives you all these recommended elements when you're in a template. So students could choose from like using all of these different graphics, and there's so many for this one. I love them, this under the sea. But maybe they're telling a story and they're exploring the ocean and they want to talk about all the different um marine life, right, that live there and talk about them, and they're making this book. And you can duplicate the pages, you can add text, you can add elements, and they can really create a book. And then if you want to flip it, there is all of these things, and there's simple flip book right here. And then you can make it into a book. They can display it. Students can give each other feedback on it. I mean, there's just like you could have groups build these stories together with using the share button. Um, I mean, there's just so much like power in the creation here that they could do. And there's so many different ways that they can express themselves and how they can make their storybook look with all that great information they used to research the topic. So now there's podcasts, record their voice to share reflections, explain ideas, right? It's so great when we can have students like explain their thinking and create. So then if you search podcasts, there are all these templates. They could make, in addition to that, a podcast cover. You could have like two students or three students working together to build the podcast and create the show. But what's really great is if you open any one of these, and you're going to see it has a series of templates right here, Canva allows for voiceovers. So if you go to upload and like record yourself, students can record themselves on each of these pages. Like they can ask each other questions and answer them and then display it as a public product. Um, However you wanted to set that up. They can change the text on here, put how they want it to look, like what's their branding. I mean, there's just so many possibilities for creativity. Um, using that in template. There's using that in Canva. There's so many templates. There's so many ways students can make it their own. And then there's comic strips. So then there's going to be all these comic strip templates. So if they have a topic in a class, they can bring it to life, tell a little story with cartoon characters, and these templates go on forever. They can start with a more blank one. You could see that there's some examples here already on what they could look like. So they can really get immersed in the topic and, tell stories, be a storyteller, and learn the important skills and knowledge that they need to know for your class that align with standards. And then there's board games. Oh, I love the board games. You all like close to my heart. But you can see like all these templates. You can hyperlink these spaces. And then you can have students play their games. And they could learn at each of these spaces. Like they could be hyperlinked and go to and they could create a slide and it could share all the information. It could have a voiceover. I mean, like this could be as simple or as elaborated as a project as you wanted to make it for students. And you can create game boards for your students. So there's just so much power with what you can do with it. And then there's magazines. So you can see all of these magazines templates they have. They can create a cover, build all the information to tell you about the topic that you gave them. They could create a whole newspaper as a group. I mean, like there's just so much. And then I know students with CTE courses, they really have a career pathway they're looking at. I mean, they can build their own portfolios. It's so important now to write, like, make your work shine, like, find ways to stand out, and having a really creative portfolio of all of highlight all the wonderful things students are doing and have done is such a great way to honor them, individualize, like, praise their hard work and efforts. And there's so many templates in Canva that they can, highlight themselves and all of the great things they've done. They could do voiceovers. You can go into one of these ad videos that they make or ones in the Canva library, which I can show you more when we go to videos. They could do the same thing for magazines, and then you could do a video advertisement or video portfolio. I mean, like, right? I mean, I'm sure you guys have many more like amazing ideas. They could do it in, the phone size or the computer size, but you can open one of these. And I'll just open this because it's right here. Um, and then what's great is there's elements. So let me just say, let's just do coffee because that's the theme. But look at all the pictures they'll have access to, like videos they can incorporate. Like if they're creating an advertisement for coffee, they can choose from all of these videos. They can drop them into their presentation, right? They can add voiceovers in here. I mean, there's just like so much you can do with the technology, and then they could, display their video, share it as a public product, see if they can get other people interested in, the coffee or whatever it is that they're trying to advertise. So that was video ads, and then Canva code. Have any of you seen Canva code in action? No. Okay. I had I had it built because sometimes the prompts with Canva code, um, some of them are built like that and some of them take a little longer. But keeping the theme of the 1950s that we did earlier, I have this prompt for Canva code. So if you go to Canva AI and you go to Canva code, students can build their own apps, games, activities, and so can you. And you can go in here. This is a prompt. So this is just like basically it's like a tech time traveler, and there's going to be like this interactive timeline of 1950s technology innovation. And then it's going to send. And then what's really great is you can actually see Canva writing the code and generating the code for it. So this one's done, just because I always want to make sure we reach time. But this is what it ended up looking like. So you can use this in a design, you can reset it, but what's really cool is you can flip these and it will give you information about color TV. It will give you a pop culture connection, and then you can go through and explore all of these, like learn the little cultural impact piece, right? So students can really like build these out. They can like think of an idea or an app or a game and they can try to build it. And then you could even, challenge them like, is this information correct? Does this look right to you? Um, are these dates right? And really let them, imagine and build. I mean, because we were never able to do this before. And just like Google, Canva has some really amazing training. So if you click here, it's going to take you to all these trainings that you can take to learn Canva, like presenting in Canva, how to make a website, which wasn't one of the project ideas with students that I had, but students could build a website. Um, they have a bunch of ones specifically for teachers. Um, Like if you scroll down, like use code to empower student learning, which I just showed you real briefly how you can use code and how students could create widgets, games. Um, More on Canva code right here. Transform your classroom. So they have like 4 or 5 lessons just on really leveraging code in classrooms, creating widgets. There's a digital class gallery. I mean, welcome to Canva for Education. So there's a lot of great resources in here that if you're like, it would be amazing to do some projects with my students and I want to learn more, especially when it's the summer. I mean, get in there when you have time, check them out and do them at your own pace. So now I just want to know, finish one of these sentence starters. Like, what is one thing you're excited to try? Where do you see some really exciting potential? Um, what is one thing you can take away today that you learned that you feel like will help you in your practice? Go. Oh, good, John. I'm so glad you like Notebook LM. That's great. Anyone else? Oh, good. Yay. Yeah, it's awesome. And right, there's just like so many different things they could create. Like, really, your imagination is the limit. Yeah, there's a lot of great things. You could start small, try something, see how it goes. Oh, good. I'm so glad, Sarah. Okay. So we have 2 minutes. I want to turn it back over and honor everybody's time. Yeah, I think the podcast and flip books are some of my favorites. Oh, yay. Okay, do you have any questions for me before I turn it back over? And of course, you can email me, follow me on LinkedIn. That's where I post the most. I am on X too, though. Um, yeah, you're welcome. I hope you all have an amazing weekend, a wonderful summer. And thank you so much for spending your Saturday here with us. Oh, thanks, John. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much. I see all of the fabulous jobs. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks. Excellent. All of these things rolling in the chat. People saying, I agree. I see the potential for my CTE teachers as well as teachers supporting across disciplines. I will do a little of everything to expose my students to different resources. I'm excited about to try the Canva code with my students. It's a whole bunch of love in the chat, and we appreciate it. Michelle, again, just phenomenal job. Not only giving the content, connecting it to student creation, but then being open to kind of go where the people who are in your session want to go. I mean, just great, 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 great job again. And you are always welcome to come back. Hopefully we will see you for years and years and years. As much as you want to come and train with us, we would love to have you. So thank you so very much.